All right, old school NBA fans, self-research, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. I want to give a special thanks to Andrew Chester, 3527. Thanks a lot, good sir, for your super thanks and your support. And also to my main supporter of this channel, Isle Sabag. I can't thank you enough for all the donations and all the support you have given to this channel. It is so much appreciated. In this video here, I'm simply going over the greatest upsets in NBA history. I did one of these a while back, but since there was two more in this last season, I felt compelled to do an updated video on it. Now for me, I go simply by record, nothing else. You can go by SRS, rankings, whatever you want to go by. But record is really the only measure that's going to make any sense here. There's been 34 upsets in the playoffs where a team had a double-digit difference in win totals. So if a team is, say, 62 wins and the team is 51 wins, and the 51-win team beats the 62-win, then that would be on this list. 10-win differential or more. 34 of them. You think about it, though, there's been, about 77 years, 78 years in the NBA? 34 is less than one every other year. So this is not a common thing. It's actually pretty rare. So I'll just do it by in order of when it happened. In 1950, the Rochester Royals were the number 2 seed, 51-17 record. Fort Wayne Pistons, 40-28 record, upset them 2-0. Now, granted, that was only a best of 3, but still, that was the Central Division semifinals. They did things very weird back in the early 50s. I'm not going to pretend to understand, but that was an 11-win differential. 1959, St. Louis Hawks were defending their championship at 49-23. They got upset by Minneapolis, who was the 4 seed, with a 33-39 record in the West Finals, 4-2. Big upset. 16-win differential. Didn't happen for 9 years until 1968. St. Louis Hawks, the number 1 seed, were 56-26. San Francisco Warriors beat them. They were 43-39 in the semifinals in 6 games. A 13-win differential. In 1971, the Knicks, the number 1 seed, they were 52-30. They got upset in the East Finals by Baltimore, who was 42-40. 10-win differential. In 73, Milwaukee, with Kareem and Oscar and Bob Dandridge and all that, they were 60-22. They got upset by Golden State, who was 47-35. 13-win differential, 4-2 in the semifinals. In 1975, Washington was 60-22. They got upset also by Golden State, who was 48-34 in 6 games in the finals, a 12-win differential. 78, Portland was 58-24, lost to Seattle, the 4 seed, in 6 games in the semifinals, an 11-win differential. In 81, Phoenix, the 1 seed, lost to Kansas City, the 5 seed. This was a big upset year right here. They were 42-40. They beat them in 7 in the semifinals. A 15-win differential. That's big. Also in 81, the Lakers were the 3 seed, 54-28. Got beat by Houston, the 6 seed, who was under 500 at 40-42. 2 out of 3, they beat them. A 14-win differential. Then Houston turned right around to beat San Antonio, the 2 seed, who was 52-30, and Houston still being a 40-42, a 12-win differential. They beat them in 7, and then Houston went to the finals and got beat in 6 to Boston. What a great run. One of the greatest non-championship runs of all time, maybe the greatest. 1986, the Lakers, number 1 seed, 62-20. Houston was the 2 seed, but they were only a 51-win team. In the conference finals, beat them 4-1, 11-win differential. 1987, Dallas was the 2 seed, 55-win team. Seattle the 7, a 39-win team. They beat them 3-1 in the first round, 16-win differential. 1989, Cleveland, the 3 seed, number 1 net rated team in the NBA, 57-25. The Chicago Bulls were the 6 seed, 47-35. The Bulls beat them in 5 games. That was the shot by Michael Jordan. 10-win differential. 1991, San Antonio, the 2 seed, 55-win team. Golden State, the 7, a 44-win team. Golden State wins that 3-1, 11-win differential. In 1994, one of the biggest upsets of all time, Seattle, the number 1 seed, 63-19. They got beat by Denver, who was 42-40, the 8 seed, in the best of 5, 3-2. And Denver was actually down 0-2 in that series. Came back to win it. Unbelievable. And then Atlanta, 1994 was the number 1 seed, a 57-win team. Indiana, the 5 seed, a 47-win team. Indiana won that in 6 games, but there is a big asterisk next to that one. Dominique Wilkins, who was the major reason why Atlanta was the number 1 seed, traded him mid-season like a bunch of idiots, and Atlanta was nowhere near the same team. They got Danny Manning. Please. Indiana, the 5 seed, dusted them out in 6. Without Dominique, they couldn't score. All right, now we got the second half, the more modern games. But of the first 17, they were 1950 to 1994. That covers 45 years. There was only 17 of these. Was not common at all. But since 1995, in the last 30 seasons, 17 of them is happening more than once every 2 years. 1995, Utah, the 3 seed, they were 60-22. Well, Houston got 4 of them in one run. 47-35 Houston. They beat Utah, the 60-win team, 3-2 in the first round. Then they beat Phoenix, a 59-23 team in the semifinals, 4-3. Then in the Western Conference Finals, they beat 62-win San Antonio in 6 games. Then in the finals, they beat Orlando, a 57-win team, 4-0. They had 4 in one run. That's why when people talk about, oh, that Dallas run, it's right there with Houston. No, it's really not. Because Houston won 47 games. They had a worse record with Clyde Drexler on the team than they did before the trade. They were actually better record-wise before the trade. Now, maybe they were clicking at the right time, and Drexler did put him over the top. That's what I believe. But even still, they beat 4 teams that were 10 wins or better than them, with the top one being San Antonio, 15-win differential there. You look at Dallas, Portland was what, like a 45, 46-win team? Dallas was like 11 wins better than them. Then against the Lakers, they had the same record. They had a 2-win better record than Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals, and then they were 1 game worse than Miami in the finals. Dallas was basically just as good as all the teams they played, except for first round. They were much better. But yeah, they beat 3 teams that were basically as good as they were. I kind of look at that as like the 93 Bulls, when they played Cleveland, the Knicks, and the Suns. All 3 teams were in the ballpark as good as they were. And nobody's calling the 93 Bulls run one of the best ever. It was a nice run. They didn't have home court advantage in the last 2 series, and they beat both number 1 seeds. But Houston in 95 was the best run ever, followed by the 69 Boston Celtics. 1998, Miami, the 2 seed, 55-win team, got beat by the 7-seeded Knicks, a 43-win team, 3-2 in the first round. 2007, the biggest upset in NBA history. Dallas Mavericks, 67-15, easily the best team in the NBA record-wise. Golden State, the 8 seed, was 42-40, and Golden State won it in 6 games. Unbelievable. 2010, Cleveland, the 1 seed, 61 wins. Boston, the 4 seed, was a 50-win team. That's 11-win differential right there. 2011, San Antonio, number 1 seed, 61 wins. They got beat by Memphis, the 8 seed, 46-win team, 4-2. 2012, this one comes with an asterisk. The 2012 Bulls were the number 1 seed with a 50-16 record. They got beat by Philly, a 35-31 win team, 4-2, a 15-win differential. However, Joakim Noah missed 3 games. Derrick Rose missed 5 games. That's when he got injured. And Jimmy Butler missed 3 games. That was over. Come on. Big asterisk on that one. But technically, it still was a double-digit win differential. 2013, Denver, who was missing Danilo Gallinari, was a 57-win team. They got beat by Golden State, a 47-win team, 4-2. But like I said, they were missing their second best player, second leading scorer. 2016, San Antonio, 67-win team, got beat by 55-win OKC in the semifinals, 4-2. 2022, now there's been a bunch of upsets. There's been 5 of these in the last 4 years. That's why I think the modern NBA is just so screwed up with injuries and load management. Record doesn't even mean anything anymore. It just doesn't. 2022 Phoenix, 64-18. Dallas was a 52-win team. In the semifinals, Dallas beat Phoenix in 6 games. 2023 Milwaukee, 58-win team, lost to Miami, a 44-win team in 5 games. But Giannis did miss games in there. But they were also losing the games that Giannis played in, both of them, if I remember correctly. Then Miami, after beating Milwaukee in the first round, in the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston, they beat them in 7 games. That was that weird series where they were up 3-0. Then Boston won 3 straight, but Miami pulled it out in Boston in Game 7. 44-win Miami beat 57-win Boston. That's a 13-win differential. Then this last season in 25, they both come with asterisks. Boston got beat by the Knicks. Boston was a 61-win team. Knicks were a 51-win team. Jason Tatum got hurt, but they were already down 3-1, so we don't know how much that really mattered. A 10-win differential. And then Cleveland, the number 1 seed in the East, 64-18, got beat by Indiana, the 4 seed, 50-win team in 5 games. But Evan Mobley missed 1 game, and Darius Garland missed 2 games. How much did it matter? I don't know, but I'm sure it mattered some. I don't know if it would have been enough to turn the series around, but it certainly has to be noted. So those are the 34 biggest upsets in NBA history. The 10 biggest ones are tied for 7th place, because there's 4 of them. 7, 8, 9, and 10. They're all the same. Tied for 7th place, you got 1981 Kansas City Kings, a 42-40 team, beating the number 1 Phoenix, a 57-win team in the West semis. That's one of them. Then you got 1995 Houston Rockets beating San Antonio. That was a 15-win differential. All these are. Another 15-win differential was 2011 San Antonio getting beat by 8-seeded Memphis. 15-win differential. And then the one with the asterisk with Derrick Rose got hurt. Chicago upset by Philly. Also a 15-win differential. Then there's 3 teams tied for 4th biggest upset in the history of the NBA. But really, this one should be 4th on its own, because in 1959, Minneapolis was 33-39 and St. Louis was 49-23, a 16-win differential. But the difference is the win percentage. Actually, it was a bigger spread between St. Louis and Minneapolis because they played fewer games. They played 10 less games than these other teams did. But still, a 16-win differential. I'm just going to keep it like that. The other one is 1987 Dallas, a 55-win team, getting beat by a 39-win team, 3-1 in the first round. That's also a 16-win differential. And then you have 2016, which I think I forgot to even mention this game. I don't know how I did, but 2016 Golden State Warriors, 73-9. They got upset by Cleveland in the finals, 4-3. That's tied for the 4th biggest upset in NBA history by record, win differential. But they comes with an asterisk. Draymond Green missed a game. Andrew Bogut missed 2 games. Of course, Steph Curry was injured. But as it reads on paper, it's tied for the 4th biggest upset in NBA history. Now, the big media will tell you it's the biggest one, no doubt about it, by far. But it wasn't. These were bigger upsets. 1976, the third biggest upset in NBA history.
As Phoenix is going to win the seventh and deciding game at Oakland on the Warriors' home court.
Don, who would have believed this?
Inside to Barry. He gets the bucket. It makes no difference now. This was decided some time ago. 10 seconds to go. Gar-Herr takes it over the timeline. They're jumping up and down on the Phoenix bench. Richard Block, the president of this team. We want to thank our producer, Tom O'Neill.
Against the world championship.
Phil Smith throws it up, and so the reign of the champion has ended here in Oakland, California today. The Golden State Warriors displaying the class of champions, shaking and congratulating the victors, but the Phoenix Suns, with one of the most dramatic victories in the history truly of the NBA, the way they've come out of these playoffs, win the game and advance to the finals. From 6 points down at the half, the Phoenix Suns rally back to win this game going away as they beat the Golden State Warriors 94-86 to win the Western Conference Championship.
Yeah, the Western Conference Finals. Phoenix, a 42-40 team, beat the defending champion 59-23 Golden State Warriors in 7 games, winning Game 7 on Golden State's home floor. 17-game win differential. That's the third biggest in NBA history. And the second biggest one
with Mutombo. Another block from Mutombo. And Perkins shoots the two, blocked by Brian Williams, recovered by Gill. 8 seconds, Perkins batted back out. McMillan, another three, way short. That's it. Mutombo embraces the ball, and the unlikely upset, one of the great upsets in NBA playoff history.
That one right there is my favorite. That was so dramatic, coming down to the last wire. Mutombo was blocking everything. That's why I try to tell people, idiots like FYF talking about, oh, they don't have elite rim protectors. They were overrated. Mutombo was like the 5th best center of the 90s. The dude swatted 31 shots in a 5-game series. He was one of the probably 3 or 4 best shot blockers the NBA has ever seen. That was 1994. Denver Nuggets were 42-40, playing Seattle, the number 1 seed, best record in the NBA, 63-19, a 21-win differential. And up to that point, that was the biggest upset in NBA history. Everybody was just shocked, like, wow, that just doesn't happen. It didn't happen back in the 90s like that. But then the number 1 upset of all time, bar none.
Bricks are only one of their last 11 and turned it over 3 times. 4-point Warrior lead as we approach a minute remaining.
For Baron Davis to go one-on-one, get into the lane.
Here's Davis. And the lead is 6 remaining. Under a minute to go. Nowitzki with the air ball, but at 32 points for Davis. And the basket by Terry cuts it to 4. Lead. Jackson in the corner. This is Barnes. Timeouts left. Here's Nowitzki. A 3. And the air ball. And
bounds underneath.
Here's Nowitzki with another 3. And he's got this lead. Nowitzki for 3. He hits another one. 2-point game.
The Mavs.
They need a 3. That's it. Stolen by Patriots. The Warriors will win it. 0.2 of a second on the clock. There's a foul. How about this story? Straight, the Western Conference champions, down 3-1. This crowd going wild.
Dallas Mavericks were the number 1 seed, 67-15. The year before, in 06, they lost 4 straight games in the finals. Carried over to the first round of 07, they lost 8 out of 10 playoff games as a 60-win team. I don't even know if I've ever heard of that before. I'd have to look it up to see, has anybody as a 60-win team? They were 60 wins in 06, 67 wins in 07. Has any 60-win team ever lost 8 out of 10 playoff games? I know it laps over from one year to the other because it has to lose 8 games. But come on, that is insane. Golden State at 42-40, Dallas at 67-15, in 6 games no less, 25 win differential. That's the biggest in NBA history. And that's why I laugh at all the LeBron jock-sniffing idiots who come through here sometime and mention Michael Jordan against Boston. Oh, he couldn't beat Larry Bird. If Michael Jordan's Bulls in 1986, if they would have beat Boston Celtics, that would have been the biggest upset in NBA history by a mile. The biggest in NBA history is 25 games. That would have been a 37-win discrepancy. No one would ever break that. That's how ridiculous you people are, right there. And then in the next year, in 87, yeah, the Bulls were a 40-win team. They were 40-42. Boston was a 59-23 team. That's a 19-win differential. That would be the 3rd biggest upset in NBA history had the Bulls beaten Boston. So if Michael Jordan can't do a top 3 upset of all time in the NBA, then he must be a bum. That's the logic of morons like you who say and think these things. You guys are just idiots, man, and you need to just stop embarrassing yourself with this stuff. Sorry about the off-topic rant. Let me know, which one do you think was the most enjoyable? I thought it was Denver-Seattle. I loved that series. I followed it very closely. That was the season that Jordan wasn't there. So I was watching all the other games. I mean, sure, I was still a Bulls fan, but I was intrigued by who's going to win this thing because I didn't think the Bulls would win it. I was just very intrigued. And when this series went, I was like, oh, man, Game 5 in Seattle. Denver pushed them 5, huh? And they won the game. That was tremendous. Mutombo grabbing on the ball like this. I'll never forget it. It was awesome. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be great. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I give daily content, and that's it. Until next time.